how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Crown Peach Show, special edition with Mister Untouchable, tattooing me in studio today. So bear with us, this is going to be a little bit of a different interview because he's going to be busy inking my body.
Yes.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
So this is different for me, is this different for you?
Oh yeah, definitely. But I don't mind.
When you travel to places, is it usually to someone's studio or their home or just conventions? Like, where do you normally travel to?
Normally I travel to like a lot of tattoo conventions. I don't remember like the last time I did like a house call. It's been a long time. But to be honest with you, that's how I started. When I really started tattooing, it was house calls. It was a lot of tattoo parties. It was a lot of, just word of mouth. It wasn't social media.
Yeah.
So everything just went around like word of mouth.
Yeah, it was like the ultimate compliment because it was like live referrals, right?
Yeah, oh definitely. You know what's crazy is that it's something about going into a person's home and tattooing them in the comfort of their own home. Mm-hmm. I still am friends with a lot of those people to this day. That was like over 20 years ago.
Yeah, it's intimate for sure because you're in their environment and then you become family. As I'm getting tattooed literally right now. This is so different. It's fun though. This is what it's all about, doing things that are out of our comfort zone, right?
Yeah, they get to see you squirm.
Exactly. Here and there, because I'm not going to fake the funk. Some of it is numbed. Yeah. I had to. So, speaking of house calls, take me back to the very first time you put ink on somebody.
Well, it wasn't in a house. It was in the South. No, actually, there was. I can just speak on two different occasions because the very first time that I ever touched a needle and thread was me and my brother. We must have been about 11, 12 years old, and we had like needle and thread. A needle with the thread tied at the end, and we just would dip it into the ink, and then we just kind of dotted them on. And me and my brother, we put each other's names on our ankles.
No way.
Yeah, we were little kids, we were dummies, but...
So you have his name, he has your name?
No, we did our own name. He did my name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we didn't do his name, but that was kind of like the first time. And then actually picking up a tattoo machine. It was a homemade machine. I was incarcerated at the time in a youth training school in Chino. Mm-hmm. And I had a bunkie by the name of Beto that kind of helped me put the whole machine together,
Wow.
Yeah, and he wanted to get, he knew that I had good penmanship. I always had good writing. So, we were in our cell, whatever, and he just trusted me. He trusted me with doing it. And quite surprisingly, the tattoo came out nice. I believe it was the ones that were underneath his arms. And it actually said Jesus Christ, because at the time he was all into the Bible and stuff.
Yeah.
So Jesus Christ was the first tattoo I did.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
So getting all the pieces to make a tattoo machine while incarcerated. Was there any prison purses involved?
Any what?
Prison purses,
What do you mean?
How did you get the pieces in there?
Oh, well, it's crazy. I mean, when you have a lot of time on your hands and these guys come up with some crazy stuff. I know, basically it was from a Walkman radio. That's always got the motor. And then you use a pen tube as your barrel. And as far as the needles, you can either use a guitar string, which is everybody use, or we use lighter springs, get the springs out of a lighter, and basically just stretch them out and sharpen them. You know what I mean? And as far as your ink, I didn't really make the ink too much, but I knew how it was made. They pretty much got chess pieces.
Yeah.
And they would just kind of burn them and use a soot that would rise to the top, and then scrape it off and mix it with toothpaste or baby oil, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So Jesus Christ, while incarcerated, was the first tattoo you put on somebody.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is the favorite, for you, your favorite piece of art that you've ever left on someone's body?
Interesting. There's a piece that I have, a customer, his name is Mike. He's from the East Coast, he's in Baltimore. Mm-hmm. And, I met him through his brother Kevin, and basically Mike and Kevin used to come, they used to fly down here and they used to come and get tatted by me. Because in the East Coast, they have good work out there, but their style's a lot different. They don't do like a lot of fine line gray, black and gray. They do more like traditional stuff. They're starting to change over now, and they're starting to get better at it. But for a long time, it was hard to find a realism tattoo artist out there, a good one. That wasn't already all booked up.
Yeah.
So basically, Mike came to me, and I started doing his torso. We worked our way around to his back. So like. Basically, his whole back, like it's a good versus evil, angels and demons at the bottom, And that has to be one of my favorite tattoos so far. It's actually like a whole back piece, Yeah. I won a couple of awards with his torso already too,
That's awesome. So now you brought up awards, which I've had the pleasure of seeing, and the audience will get to see during our break.
Yeah.
How many have you won?
Man, I know it's well over 50. I started entering in 2008 was my first time. I was doing a tattoo convention out here in Orange County actually, and I think if I'm correct, it was a show that Kat Von D was putting on, and I was in attendance, and we were there working, and one of my apprentices at the time, Danny, he decided he wanted to go enter, and I was like, that's fine with me. So he went and he entered it, and for Tattoo of the Day, which is actually one of the harder tattoo contests to win, because you're going up against so many different random pieces, and surprisingly, man, we came away with the victory, with the plaque, it was nice. And
that's awesome.
after that, I just went on a rampage. I was hooked on.
You were hooked on that feeling of being recognized.
Exactly. And what's so special is I still have that award, and like that one, I remember when I won it that day, all my team was happy for me, and I remember we went to go eat afterwards, and I stepped outside, I gotta call my mom.
Oh, that's sweet.
So I called my mom, and like just hearing her voice, and like this is 8 years later in the game, and after I got out of prison, like I was able to finally win my first award. It was like a dream. I remember getting emotional with her on the phone, and she was very proud of me.
That's awesome.
My mom supported me, and she still does.
Yeah.
So it was an awesome experience, awesome feeling. After a while, I just didn't. I'll enter once in a while, or my customers will, but I kind of proved to the point already. So it's not about that for me anymore. Now it's just about making my customers happy,
Yeah. Well, it is a forever commitment, It's going to be on their body forever.
Yes, it is.
So what is the craziest thing that's ever happened to you since you started this tattoo journey?
Craziest thing, I'm going to leave it on a positive. The craziest thing is I got a chance to go to Europe.
Wow.
I got a chance to go to Rome for a tattoo convention. What was even more crazier is that I was already booked up before I got there. And I had never even been there before. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
To experience Rome, the Sistine Chapel. I got a chance to go and see St. Peter's. And, if you love all that stuff, if you love all the art and that comes from over there, then you need to go, because it's just the books and the pictures don't do it justice.
Was that a dream location for you?
That was one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely one of them. And I wouldn't mind going back. I do plan on going back there, because I didn't get to see everything that I wanted to. But that was definitely for me one of the craziest things, the positive way.
Yeah. So back when you used to do house calls, because you were telling me earlier that you don't do those anymore, and this is special for the Crown Peach Show.
Yeah.
Why don't you do house calls anymore?
Well, you know what? There's several reasons. Some of them being that I have a lot more equipment now. Like I have like printers, and I have just so much different furniture. Like once you're spoiled with all that stuff, it's hard to do without it. So that's one of the reasons. Is, it just became overwhelming. But another reason is because I'd be at people's homes, and it's unpredictable. You never know what's going to happen in people's homes, garages.
Yeah.
I remember one time I was in San Fernando Valley in a garage tattooing on a guy's arm. I remember I was doing like a Mexican chara, Mexican girl with a hat. And these dudes just started getting high, man. All of this, I know about drugs. I was young, experienced with a little bit. And I smelled something in the air, and it smelled like a funky smell. And it was PCP.
Oh my gosh.
Straight smoking PCP in the back. And I was like, oh no, I gotta get out of here, because I already know, like, once these dudes start getting high on that stuff, like, there's no telling,
Yeah.
Another time, we were tattooing in my friend Ricardo's grandma, or his grandma's house right there in Upton, and his dad came home just yelling and tripping, wearing the, you know, he even started tripping on me, and I'm like, dude, what the heck? I'm just here working. You know? That was actually the last time that I did a house call. That was over like 20 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we feel special here at the Crown Peak Show then.
Right? Like, ain't nobody getting high right now.
No. Oh my gosh, that was the last time you went to a house call because someone's pops lost his mind.
Yeah, he just went off, man. I was like, wow. I think another time, man, I was tattooing at a house, and oh shoot, so it was me and a partner of mine, and we were in the garage, and there was a bunch of homies in there, you know. There was a bunch of homies there from the South San Diego area, and the guy that was with me, he was a little bit younger. I don't want to say his name, but we were tattooing in there, and everything was going cool, whatever. And they had asked, you know, can my friend, can he do some writing? And I was like, yeah, he can do some writing. You know, they wanted it right here like a chain, you know. So I said, go ahead, handle it. So he went over and started tatting on him. He did it. They weren't very impressed with his writing, you know. They didn't like the way his writing came out or whatever. So they asked me like, hey, and the host kept coming up to me like, hey, why don't you bring this dude, man? He sucks or whatever. I was like, hey, bro, maybe that's not his specialty. I go, I'll fix it. I'll touch it up.
Yeah.
Just let me finish this piece and I'll go. And kept bugging. Finally, I kind of like, hey, I said I was gonna take care of it. I'll take care of it. So finally, I was done with the one that I was doing, and I walked over there and I seen and I looked. And immediately as I read and I started reading, it was an oldie that said, Lord, please don't let me be misunderstood. But the misunderstood was, they missed like a
It was misspelled. The misunderstood was misspelled.
And we're talking about a freaking garage full of guys that we didn't even really know, but they hadn't caught that. They didn't know that he had misspelled it.
Yeah.
So they probably know now.
Yeah, now they do. Shoot.
So I had to try to hurry up and fix it and get out of there before somebody caught it. You know what I mean?
My God.
And it was funny. It was crazy, you know, at the time, because it's like, man, if they're mad about the way it came out, they'd be even more mad when they figure out that it was.
So it is tattooed on this guy's body, misspelled.
Yeah, misunderstood or something.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, wow. Yeah.
You got me over here wanting to check on my tattoos now, but I don't have any writings, so
No,
it's fine.
I'm good at spelling. When I was young, I wanted the spelling bee, so I'm
Okay, good. I feel comfortable now if I ever need to come to you for some spelling on me.
For sure.
Wow. Okay, so no one's perfect.
Yeah.
If you've ever made a mistake on a tattoo, how do you handle that?
I mean, to be honest with you, like, it happens quite frequently, and they're not mistakes, you know. They could just be like little glitches, or they could be stuff. Like, you never know how, when you do a tattoo, how the skin is going to react to it, how it's going to heal, you know what I mean? Thank God that we're able to sometimes come back and touch stuff up, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I had a boss one time that I used to work at a shop in Pasadena. That was one of my first shops. And my boss had did a tattoo on this guy. Well, it just so happens this guy was a police officer, you know. And I think he wanted like Puerto Rican flag or something. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And you know, if you switch the colors around, it's a totally different nationality. You know what I mean? So he made this Puerto Rican. I think he made him a Mexican. I don't remember what he changed his nationality.
Or Italian maybe.
Yeah, exactly, something like that. And I remember he had to pay for his laser treatments.
Oh my gosh. So another tattoo artist did that.
Yeah.
And had to pay for the treatments.
Yeah, he had to pay for the treatments of the guy. And that laser stuff it's expensive, you know.
Oh yeah.
You know, thank God I got a hookup for that. But yeah, you're just going you know, somewhere they're going to charge you on the day.
Exactly. Have you ever had a customer come to you and say, you know, I don't like the way it came out?
It's been a minute. I mean, the majority of the time they won't say that. They'll just be like, hey, we can do a touch up or something like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Majority of the time, I would say like 99% of the time, my customers are really happy, you know, with their tattoos. Because what it is I'm going to tell you like this, like, you know, I've been in the game for a long time, and it's not just your ability to tattoo that you're paying for, it's the experience. You know, I mean, it's when somebody knows what they're doing, who can foresee, like, hey, what about future? What are we going to add to this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's a lot of other things that play a part. The size proportion. You got to make sure that the tattoo is proportioned to your body. You know what I mean? Because you don't want a big old arm and a little tattoo in the middle.
Yeah, I've seen those kind of tattoos.
Yeah, then you got to figure out, like, well, like, how are we going to go around framing this now? How are we going to go, what's our, you know, you kind of put yourself in
Which is kind of what we're doing right now. We are framing some artwork that Mister Untouchable has already done to my leg.
Yeah.
And it is called what?
Filigree.
Yeah. I was calling it something completely different earlier.
Yeah.
This is called filigree.
Filigree.
What did I call it earlier?
Something. Philosophical.
I don't know what I called it, but it was not right.
Yeah.
So we are doing filigree right now on my leg. And not gonna lie, I did use some numbing cream, but it doesn't feel like it because I'm feeling every little thing right now.
Are you?
I am. So we're gonna take a break, and during this break, you guys, you are gonna get to see what Mr. Untouchable's life looks like right now. We'll be right back.
What's up, everybody? This is Mr. Untouchable right here with Team Peach. I just wanted to kind of give you guys a little bit extra footage concerning my rides. The first car that we have right here is a 1964 Chevrolet Impala. Basically, I've had this car for 7 years. This is my first baby right here. And when I got it, I wasn't even looking for a car. One of my customers was moving out to Denver, and he asked me, and I said, yeah, I'll check it out. So I went to go look at the car, and I actually paid, $13,500 for it. Now that's insane, but it was just a driver then. I put in the engine, I put a 350 motor in there, redid the tranny. I was able to slap in some airbags. You see all this gold trimming. I even got my Untouchable logo put on right there. Little by little, it's been a process, it's been a project. You know what I mean? I love it. I'm able to attend a lot of car shows, car meets. I won already like 3 awards with it already. So basically, like lowrider, I've done a lot of lowrider shows, but I plan to do more in the future. Lowrider Garage came down here. Joe Ray came down and did an interview. You guys can check that out on YouTube as well. But this is baby right here. If I were to get rid of all my cars, I would definitely not get rid of this car. This is going to be something that's going to be handed on to my daughters, once I'm gone. So this is this car. There's a little story behind this. I had a friend that came to me had asked if I wanted to invest or if I wanted to do him a favor, and I wasn't crazy about the idea at first. But basically, I ended up getting stuck with this car because I bought it. And first, I was just like, man, what is this car? I never seen it before. It's a 1956 Lincoln Continental. They're a rare find. Like I said, it fell into my lap, my hands. I bought it. It was supposed to be an investment. I was supposed to flip it. I ended up getting stuck with it. But the more time I spent with it, the more attached I got to it. It kind of grew on me. Everywhere I go, it gets all kinds of crazy looks. I mean, you can see just by the color itself, but also the builder. You don't see these cars out there. So I decided to keep it. I've done some suspension work on it. I put a system in there. Came with the rims. I might change them out, and I might bag it up pretty soon. But it's a clean car. When you start this puppy up, man, it sounds like a freaking lion. You know what I mean? But definitely it's added to my collection now, so it ain't going nowhere. What's going on, everybody? Now we're here inside of my party bus. This is a 2020 Mercedes Sprinter van. So basically the concept behind this one, it was a dream. It was one of my dreams. I used to be driving down the street and I used to see Sprinters, and I would just put my finger out. I said, one of these days I'm gonna grab one of those things. And when I got it, my vision for it was I was gonna use it to be mobile. I was gonna drive to conventions in it, pull up and just start tatting out of it. And I did do that. I was able to attend a couple car show functions already. I was able to travel out of state in it, just going to Nevada, Phoenix, even going up north, California, just to be able to show it off. It's been a blessing, you know what I mean? But now I just rent it out for, for party people who want to use it for like their proms, people who want to use it for like concerts, like whatever purpose, it comes in handy. And I love it because I could take my kid, I could throw them all up in here. But it all started with a vision. It all started with a dream, and I thank God because I was able to manifest that, through hard work and patience, you know what I mean? But I manifested it in my mind. I knew how I wanted to do it. And when the time presented itself, I was able to make it happen. You know what I mean? And I thank God for that, man. But this is where all the magic happens. If you guys ever want to rent it out, feel free to hit me up. It's got its own Instagram. It's under Untouchable_rides. Just get at me and tell me you've seen the video. I'll try to show you. I'll show you some love. I won't try. I will show you some love. Peace. So this is my 2020 GMC Denali. This was the first truck that I've ever had in my life. Basically, I wanted to, just go all out with it. I picked it up about 1.5 years ago. I wasn't really sure about lifting it, and then one of my partners made a comment where he said it looks like an old man's truck, so I ended up lifting it, and I was very pleased with the outcome. My boys over there, Wheels and Tire in Whittier, Jose was able to hook me up. I love it now. I added a lot of my personal touch, such as this grill. I was able to put my logo in there. It's pretty cool because at nighttime it has like lights that light it all up to whatever color I want. Even the undercarriage has those lights. It's pretty dope. When I picked out the rims, I didn't want just regular rims. I wanted them to stand out, so I got the 4G Autos on there. I didn't realize how much they were going to set me back, but it's all good. It's just money. You can't take none of this stuff. It's all material things, you know what I mean? You only live once, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I was able to I dropped a pretty penny. I'm over 50K in it now. But I love it, man. You know what I mean? I get a chance to enjoy it. Shoot, it comes with a camera right here, but I had to have them put another one in there because you literally can't see anything in front of you.
You know what I mean? I've already hit 2 cars. Thank God nobody got hurt, but I learned my lesson, so that's why I put the other camera in there. But yeah, it's got a pretty dope tow hitch in the back. You guys will see because I think he already got all the pictures of it. So basically, yeah, I got the Phantom roof on the inside. It's got a premium sound system in here. If you guys see me rolling, just give me a holler at your boy. What's going on? This is Mr. Untouchable just with this last message. So you guys seen my cars today. You guys seen the things that I've been able to accomplish. And basically the message I want to make sure is not to try to show off what I have, but to show you guys that if you guys set your mind to it, and you guys focus on it, then you too will be able to accomplish some of the achievements that I've been able to make in my life. I turn a negative into a positive because I started in prison. I started in the hood, but doesn't mean that I stayed there. I turned it around and I was able to turn a negative into a positive, and I'm still going forward, and I'm not done yet. So when you see these things, you can't take these things with you when you die. You know what I mean? They're just material things, but it's a blessing. You know, I'm able to be a blessing to other people. You know what I mean? So I just want to leave you with that message. Thank you guys. I appreciate you guys. Much love for Mr. Untouchable.
Only wanna share with y'all like a bird of a bear for y'all.
And we're back with Mr. Untouchable. I hope you guys enjoyed a preview of his life and what's going on now with him. So, speaking of Mr. Untouchable, why? Why the name Mr. Untouchable?
So basically, the way the name came about, when I was a little juvenile delinquent, we used to call ourselves Intocable, which is untouchable in Spanish, and we were just little knuckleheads from the neighborhood that I grew up in right there in Pico Rivera. And you know, once I got out and I did my time, I needed a name. I needed a business name. You know, at first I had my nickname on there, and I was like, that's not gonna fly. They used to call me Lazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah, it doesn't seem like it works in a business standpoint.
Yeah, right. So I've thought about, you know, keeping the name alive, but, you know, on a new leaf. You know, since I was a changed man, I wanted to change the name. So instead of using it in Spanish, I changed it to English. So it became Untouchable, and to me, like, I mean, there's significance behind it. Untouchable, why? 2 different reasons. One, because, you know, I feel like I'm blessed by God. You know, when you're blessed by God, you know, the Bible says, touch not my anointed, you know. And then also 2, second thing that I believe is that when, you know, I decided to start working and doing everything legit, you no longer have to worry about the authorities, the police coming. You don't have to look over your back. I'm doing everything legit now. You know, everything I touch, it's legit. You know, so in a sense, the law cannot mess with us, cannot touch us, you know what I mean?
And why do you feel touched by God?
Man, I've always, since I was a youngster, man, my mom used to take us to church, and, you know, she used to have us go into service, even though we didn't want to. She would force us to go. At first, we used to stay in the car when she went into service. But it just hit home when I got incarcerated. I got a chance to be able to go in there and study and read the Bible for myself, and I had an experience, you know, a deep experience with God. And, you know, if I would have never gotten incarcerated, I probably would have been dead. I probably would have. I got shot twice prior to getting incarcerated at a young age. So I feel like that was all part of God's plan for my life.
Wait, back up. You cannot just say that and just keep going. You and I have hung out. You've done many tattoos on me.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know you've been shot. Not once, but twice.
Twice.
How old were you and what happened?
Shoot, the first time I think I was like 16 years old, and I remember one of my homeboys came by, and, you know, he had a G-Ride, and he wanted to go put in work on the enemies, you know, so I told him, let's go. I jumped in. I was a kid. I was a knucklehead. I didn't care. We jumped in the ride, and we went to this specific house that we know that they're always there. Sure enough, as we pulled up, they were all there, you know, so, you know, he did his thing, and we took off, and they happened to chase us.
Wow.
You know, they jumped in the car, and I looked, and they were like, oh, shoot, they're coming. So we took off down the main street right there that divides our neighborhood, and we came to a stop sign, and as we came to the stop sign, I seen that there was a cop parked, you know, to the right of me. So I came to a halt because I didn't want to draw any attention to us. As I did that, I looked in the rearview mirror, and the car that had started to chase us pulled up right behind us. I thought that they were going to see the cop and not do anything.
Yeah.
No, the guy was coming out the window like, you know, like if he was in the movies, and he was shooting at a, you know, 45-degree angle into my car. So as soon as I realized what he was doing, I went to go tell my homeboy, like, get down. And they just lit up the whole car. Like, he unloaded the whole clip. It was like a 9 or something. And I remember, you know, I just took off. I couldn't see where I was going. And I hit the curve, making that left turn.
And instead of the cops going after them, he came after us. And I just took off all the way down that street towards the Pico Rivera Indoor that's no longer there. And as I exited the car, I realized that I was shot.
Where were you shot at?
Right here, because I guess I have been covering my head. You know what I mean? So, I mean, could have been the bullet for my head, you know, thank God. God spared my life that day, you know?
Wow. So the cops went after you guys.
Yeah, we got away. We jumped the fence, went to ran inside one of my homeboys' pad. I was looking for us for like 2 hours. They didn't find us. I had this bullet in my arm, and then eventually I got picked up and got taken to the hospital.
Wow.
Yeah, the other one was kind of like crossfire. You know, I was driving in the car, and one of my homeboys was in the back seat playing with the gun. Yeah, and he shot through my seat, and it hit me on the leg right here, kind of like skinned me, you know what I mean? And I pulled him out of the car, took him into the alley real quick. Yeah.
I would have too. I don't know how to fight, but I definitely would have too.
Yeah.
So were you underage when both those incidents happened?
Yeah, I mean, I started young. I got into my neighborhood when I was 14 years old. I grew up in a really rough part of Pico Rivera, these apartments called the Rivera Villas. And it was hard not to be from the neighborhood at that time.
Yeah.
I grew up in the early 90s, late 80s, so it was like everybody was getting into gangs. All those movies had came out. So it was kind of an edible, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was inevitable, sorry.
There you go.
That it was going to happen. Like edibles.
We don't have any here.
Yeah, right? So it
delivered really quick.
Nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
So it was just kind of something that, you know, I had a choice, but the cards were stacked against me. You know, unfortunately, you know, I mean, I got into the neighborhood at that time. It was just so many trends going around in the 80s. You thought it was going to be like another trend, you know what I mean? But it didn't go away.
No, it's definitely not gone away. It's kind of faded, you know, a little bit, but it hasn't gone away. It's still there.
And you know, we're just getting into the neighborhood and stuff like that. I think you know, once all that happened, it changed everything. You know, when you get into a gang, like, you change the way you walk, you change the way you talk, you change the way you dress, the music you listen to, the friends. So it was a whole lifestyle.
It's definitely like a cult.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Big time, man.
Like if you want to make it, you better join, especially if you're stuck living there.
And it was all fun and games at first, you know what I mean? Like, we used to party and hang out, and you know, all that stuff. And then it felt like the veil was unmasked, and you could see what it really was. You know?
So what message do you have for somebody maybe that's stuck in that lifestyle right now at a young age?
Well, I know we live in different times, but I know it's still out there. I notice, like, now I see it from a different perspective. I see, like, kids that get into gangs for different reasons. Some of them do it for love, for attention. You know, sometimes they're not getting attention, so that's the way that they feel they'll get attention. Other people probably do it because they're scared. You know, maybe they want to be able to join a gang because they'll feel like they have backup. You know what I'm saying? So
they feel alone. So it's like, you know, there's power in numbers. So why not hang out with them?
You know what? Now that I'm older and you know, I could think for myself. I feel like, you know, if I tell the youth, you know, just hang in there, man. Be your own man. People respect you more if you be who you are, who God had created you to be. You know, we always have different names. We always change our name, but you stay true to yourself. You make that name shine, and God will bless you. You know what I mean? Like, you don't got to be a follower, man. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's a dead end. You know, basically, it's a dead end.
That's one thing that I really, really admire about you since day one, since we met, is that you're not afraid to talk about God and your love for God and your belief in Him. Have you ever come across somebody that doesn't understand that part of you now?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, you're talking about like haters?
Pretty much.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I had a situation happen not too long ago. It wasn't necessarily having to do with my faith, but, you know, my reputation, who I was
right?
questioned. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I've never been the type, I don't care if I'm, you know, serving God or not, to walk away from a confrontation. You know what I mean? I've always confronted people, my enemies, whoever, you know what I mean? Because that's just who I am. You know what I mean? And sometimes it can get me in trouble, you know what I mean? So yeah, I recently, like, people didn't like what I was doing. People that I grew up with. I didn't even grow up with these dudes, but they had a problem with it. You know what I mean? And me, like, I stood up for myself because, like I said, I always kept my name pretty good, you know, and the situation happened. But I feel like out of that came something good. Yeah. Because it gave me a chance to realize who, you know, the people who really love me. Like, I think God wanted me to, like, finally close that door.
Yeah, exactly. Forever, you know what I mean? Sometimes He does it, like, without us knowing it's going to happen. And then, boom, it's just slammed. Yeah. It's just done.
You know what's so crazy is after that situation happened where, you know, I got jumped, God opened up a bunch of doors for me, like, where I was able to, you know,
do like my clothing line, my website. The website came up I dropped my new clothing line. My party bus came back into full effect because it had been down.
Yeah.
Because I ran a party bus as well.
Isn't that crazy? Because it's like God had to close that door for you because they weren't going on that ride with you. Do you know what I mean?
It's a very key lesson right there. When God wants to take you to another level, He's going to ask you to sacrifice things, people, leave them. You got to leave certain people because they're not built for that. They're not made to go to that next level.
Yeah, they're not. Sorry, I can't picture any of them in your clothing line anyway. So, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about right now, the present, your clothing line.
Yeah. So basically, I wanted to create a line. The reason why I did it was for my customers. People come get tatted by me. They come to my studio, and they would always ask for some type of memorabilia or something. So in the beginning, I was just printing out shirts, Untouchable, and it was cool, tank tops, whatever. I took it to another level recently because I love clothes. Like, clothes is one of my passions.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
So, I'm all about style. So I just took it to another level and I started doing embroidery. I started doing sweatsuits, hoodies, pullovers. It's just the beginning. It's still a baby. That business is still growing and I plan to invest more. I plan on getting a warehouse. We spoke about it earlier. And in this warehouse, I want to have multiple things. Well, the clothing line is going to be one of them. And that's why I'll be able to focus a lot more on my clothing line. But right now, it's going pretty good. It's doing really good, actually. People supporting. I appreciate all my supporters and all the love that I get out there from all my people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's exciting. It's exciting because one thing that tattooing has showed me is that whatever you put your mind and your heart to, whatever you feed into is what you're going to get out of it. You know what I mean? So like tattooing, I became my own boss, an entrepreneur, and I got blessed by a lot of mentors along the way, and the talent that God gave me, I exercised it. And that's how I was able to get to where I'm at. So I figure we're going to use that same formula and we're going to do it with my party bus. Bam, that's doing good. That's, bam, we're going to use that formula and we're going to do a clothing line, so just using that same formula.
And you're going to use that formula and then you're going to have a warehouse.
Exactly.
And then we're going to go there and get footage of that. Yes, it's coming. It's going to come to life for sure. Yeah, for sure.
Amen.
So the tattooing, we talked about this before off camera. If there was no tattooing, God forbid something happened to those magical, untouchable hands of yours, then where would you focus all your energy?
Well, you know what? I definitely knew that I didn't want to work for somebody. I knew I wanted to be my own boss because when I got out of prison, I tried to get a regular job. I worked construction, warehouse. I was doing all kinds of crazy jobs, man. Uniform company. And it felt like I was still doing time. It felt like I was still doing time. It felt like, I was doing something that I didn't like to do.
Yeah.
So that's what pushed me into, doing tattoos. But I have the same spirit. I'm the same person. So if it wasn't tattoos, it would probably be more like my clothing line, or it would probably be more just something. I would try to find something like I love to work out, probably do something with that, a gym. Because in my warehouse, I do want to build a gym. I found that's another secret that I found is that when you love what you do, you won't have to work. You never have to work a day.
Yeah, you never have to work a day in your life. Yeah.
So
I definitely think that you definitely would keep on that entrepreneurship.
You know what? There is one thing that I think that I'm pretty good at, and it's a natural talent for me, is speaking. Especially speaking in front of large groups. It's always something that I've done naturally, pretty well, and I plan to do that in the future. I want to be like a mentor, so I want to have some type of motivational speaker or something like that.
I can definitely picture that. Definitely. Speaking of mentor, have you ever had an apprentice?
Oh yeah. I've had a lot of apprentices. Some of them are doing really good in the business now. I got Joe Tat Cruz that does really good. D-Boy, he's killing it out there. Julio, I got a bunch of dudes. Right now I'm working with a guy named Junior, 21 West. Him and my friend, one of my guys that I grew up with, David. I got both of them. But man, it's an honor. It's a blessing to be able to pass the trade on. You have to really want it though. You can't force feed nobody. I could take them to water, but I can't make them drink.
Yeah, for sure. In any part of life, you can lead them, but you can't make them drink.
Yeah.
So that is what's going on now, and I hope everyone enjoyed the break because you got to see all your goodies, all your toys and stuff that you've worked so hard for.
Yeah, and like I had mentioned, one of the reasons that I want it is because to show you, man, look what can come, how far God can take you when you put your mind to something, when you put your heart, you go after something with all your heart. You know, you make sacrifice. It's a process. You know what I mean? And every day you wake up and you work towards your goals. You have to have that goal. You have to have that vision. You know, I wasn't putting all those toilets to look what I got. No, it's not even about that. Let this be known, man. I grew up on welfare. I grew up with food stamps. You know what I mean? I have that story, but you know, once I became a man and God showed me, like, you know, how to be a man, how to work, and using that work ethic, then you know, I've been blessed. You know.
Yeah, I think definitely your story is not look what I have. It's more like, you know, look what I did, and you can do it too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I love inspiring and motivating people.
I know your favorite place that tattooing has taken you to is Europe, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, is there a place that you hope tattooing to take you to, or you hope to see? Because you've traveled everywhere.
Yeah, I still want to go. I want to go to the Holy Land. You know, I want to go to Israel. I still want to go to the, you know, to Europe. I want to go back to Spain. You know, I mean, not back, but I want to go to Spain.
Yeah.
I got a chance to go all over the United States already, pretty much. I want to travel overseas now. You know what I mean? I love tattooing when we go to Hawaii. You know, it's like a vacation at the same time.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Yeah, I love going out that way. You know, I got a lot of good people out there. You know, one of the blessings of tattooing is not only, you know, creating art and being able to put it on people, but it's also meeting people, interacting with people, you know, the cultures, you know, you're able to meet people and go to their towns and tattoo their cities. And that's the awesome thing about being a tattoo artist, is that we also get that. Yeah,
it's an intimate situation.
Yes,
you know what I mean? You're putting art on their body that's going to be there forever.
Definitely. And, you know, another message for you guys out there that get tattoos, you know, always remember, you get what you pay for. You know what I mean? Don't try to budget. Don't try to cheap way your way out of a tattoo. That's going to be on you for life. I mean, I had to get a lot of laser work done because I got stuff done at a young age. Just be patient. You know, in due time, you'll get the tattoo you want, save the money that you want to have the artist that you want.
Yeah, no, that is a great message, because you get what you pay for in anything. But besides that message, is there something you want to tell your fans before we go?
Yeah, basically, I just want to say thank you. You know, it's been a journey. This warehouse will be coming soon. I'm speaking that into existence. What it's basically going to be, it's going to be like a one-stop shop. You know, once I open up, I'm going to let it be known. I'm going to... it's going to be open. There's going to be a gym there. There's going to be a clothing line there. I'm going to be tattooing there. You know, I'm going to keep my classics there. Kind of what Mr. Cartoon had did, but on a bigger venue, bigger scale. You know, it's just all in God's timing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when I'm able to do that, we'll be able to have like different events, charity events there. You know what I mean? Toy drives. I want to do all that stuff there, man. You know, I want to be able to, you know, I've already started dipping into it with Chino Mike and a couple other people. But I want to just go full blown with that stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. And Team Peach will be there to capture every moment from the moment you sign the lease, bro. We're going to be like, see, we told you, you speak it into existence and it will happen.
That's right.
Thank you so much for being here. I know this is well, you were on my He Said, She Said, and now this is the first time in the hot seat.
Yeah.
And I will definitely have you back again.
Awesome.
You are a great inspiration, and I want to just keep on sharing your story every step of the way.
That's right.
Are you down?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, y'all heard it here. Thank you for watching The Crown Peach Show. I'm your host. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, leave us a comment, and if you send me an email, keep it clean and kiss it. Keep it simple, sexy.
That's how we do. Return to the noise is how we do. How we do. You know it's how we do. It goes, kick off your shoes, relax your feet. Keep your iceberg, step chair, bring the heat. Classes in session, everybody take a seat.